The next commencement matter is by Senator Mary Siri Carney, and the Minister is staying with us for this one.
Thank you.
Senator, you 4 minutes.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Minister. I appreciate you're here on very short notice, and I acknowledge that the Department of Health have sent myself, Senator Gavin and Senator Conway an email explaining that the Minister is unavailable, so that's an improvement on the usual situation and lack of actual communication. Minister, I am here to discuss an issue that pertains to a small group of people, but nonetheless their quality of life is very much affected. I want to read you out a quick letter from a CF sufferer in Ireland. I'm a 36-year-old CF patient and received a double lung transplant in May 2006. I was 19 at the time. I was a patient of Crumlin Children's Hospital and then transferred to St Vincent's a few months later, where my care was taken over then by the Mater Hospital. In recent years, this lady's quality of life has seriously deteriorated. She has had multiple hospital admissions. She's lost a serious amount of weight. She's suffered from bronchiolitis obliterans syndrome, which is BOS, which also deteriorated her lung function. She is currently, I manage on my current level of around 25% capacity, but she has a young child. In this year, her consultant suggested that she would be a really good candidate for Kaftrio as it would address the issues affecting her quality of life. She sent a letter to the professor who's over all of this, asking that she be considered to be prescribed Kaftrio at their centre in the Mater, and to date there has been no progress on this issue, aside from the news that there may be a committee to look into similar cases of mine. And that this is extremely frustrating and seriously debilitates her quality of life, that of her ability to engage in normal family life. I brought it up, and she's, at her suggestion then, had a conversation with CF Ireland. And CF Ireland then sent me in to say that they understand that the HSE and the National Clinical Programme for CF have agreed to appoint a consultant for post-transplant CF care for Ireland, who are post-transplant double lungs in the Mater Hospital. They are concerned, CF Ireland are concerned, there has been a significant delay in this appointment, despite the fact that it has already been approved. And to ask the Minister, has this appointment been advertised? Will there be when will the consultant be appointed? What sort of timeline are we looking on? That this issue is very serious and very urgent for the people, the CF sufferers who are post-transplant. Once you have a transplant, that's not the end of it. Suddenly CF doesn't go away. All of the other issues still go on in your life, and if you then have deteriorating lung capacity, then you're back to full-blown CF as you were prior to lung transplant. So CF Ireland have been campaigning on this for over 3 years. And as still we don't have someone in the country who will prescribe Kaftrio to CF sufferers. So that is hence my commencement to look for an update on that, please.
Thanks very much, Senator Mary Siri Carney, on this issue. And can I just speak on CF overall, and maybe the details on that lady that it was a lady, a patient. If we can do anything for her, that you might provide me the details and I can follow up. I know many people that have CF. They're a group I admire. They're out there. Many of them are highly successful, and I have family within the extended family. One person who really is a credit to her parents, and she is leading a very, very full and frank. So any supports that are required in the CF area, fully, absolutely support. So I would like to thank Senator Mary Siri Carney for raising this issue and giving me the opportunity to speak in the Shannon on behalf of my colleague Minister Stephen Donnelly, Minister for Health. The Government is committed to increasing organ donation and transportation rates in Ireland to make organ donation a norm in situations where the opportunity arises. Organ donation is among the most selfless acts we can bestow upon one another. The improvement in quality of life, organ recipients and their family cannot be overstated. We have a duty to do everything we can to ensure that as many people as possible benefit from organ donation. The Government has taken a number of measures over the past few years to improve organ donation and transportation services in Ireland. Since 2020, an additional €2.25 million funding has been allocated to support the ongoing development of transplant services. This funding has enabled the HSE to, 1, develop the staff and infrastructure of the organ donation and transplant system, prepare the online opt-out register for the upcoming system of opt-out consent to be implemented with the human tissue bill, undertake a pilot potential donor audit through the National Audit of Clinical Audit, NOCA, to better understand and improve donation rates, and enhance our ability to assess organ donations from abroad. In addition to funding, the government is also to introduce the human tissue bill by the National Legislative Framework for operating donation and transplant services in Ireland. This bill, which is currently progressing through the Oireachtas, will support organ donation and transplantation through the introduction of a soft opt-out organ donation system. Under this system, where a person dies, consent to donation will be deemed unless the person is registered their wish not to become an organ donor after death. Family members will continue to be consulted prior to the removing any organ, and if the next of kin objects to the organ donation, the donation will not proceed. Bill further legislates for living organ donation, will provide pathways for non-directed altruistic donation. The introduction of this system, together with an extensive communication and education programme, will help raise awareness of organ donation and encourage more people to donate. With regard to, I'll deal specifically now because I want to cover it in the response, the consultant physician role that really is the kernel of your debate. We've been informed by the HSE that engagement is ongoing between the Organ Donation and Transport Ireland, between the Organ Donation and Transplant Ireland and the Cystic Fibrosis National Clinical Programme regarding the structuring of this post. It is expected the post will be approved shortly and recruited, and subject to suitable candidates applying in 2023. I undertake to follow up with the department to get precise dates when it will be advertised and when the recruitment will take place and when they expect to have the consultant in place. And I undertake to go back to Minister Donnelly to provide you with that level of detail. This appointment will ensure the effective management of the transplant waiting list and will minimise the requirement for post-transplant care through the provision of medical support tailored to the needs of this complex patient group, the CF group.
Minister, I as both party colleague, but also as a minister since you took up your post, you do nothing but work very diligently, and you are very good at following up with your colleagues. The speech you have been given is over 3 minutes of absolute piffle that has nothing to do with the question that was asked. And it is an obscenity that anyone in the Department of Health thought it fit to provide a minister with a speech that goes on with a load of stuff that has actually nothing to do with the question that I've asked. Well said. There is a small group of people in this country whose life is dependent, and quality of life is dependent on action being taken. The advocacy group CF Ireland spent over 3 years asking for a consultant who will prescribe Kaftrio for post-transplant CF sufferers. And actually what I've got back is, it is what? Being approved shortly, will be recruited. There is no urgency to the people of the Republic that the Department of Health are there to serve. That is their job. It is obscene that they do not serve the people and that they think that this is appropriate for a member of the Oireachtas. It is a disgrace, absolute disgrace of an answer.
Senator Sarah County, obviously soon to be Deputy Mary Sarah County, while it's regrettable that the recruitment for a consultant respiratory and lung transplantation physician in the Mater Hospital has been delayed, the HSE, ODTI are working to recruit for the position as soon as possible. Once in place, this consultant physician will provide greater support to lung transplant recipients, including those with cystic fibrosis. I've undertaken to go to Minister Donnelly and to the department to get the 3 aspects that you're looking for. Ultimately, when that physician consultant will be in place in the matter, and working my way back from that, when it will be advertised, what will be the interview process, and when that person will be recruited. I've undertaken, it's a straightforward request from you, and in the circumstances, I don't proceed to cover anything else. That's the the heart to your question, I undertake to follow up on that, and I'll be getting Minister Donnelly to give you a direct response.
I do doubt theirs.
Thank you.